Well, good morning, everybody. Today we are up at the top of Big Cottonwood Canyon at the Brighton Ski Resort, and we're going to hike up to a little basin that has 3 lakes in it. There's Lake Mary, Lake Martha, and Lake Catherine. And we'll probably go up to a pass where you can look over into Little Cottonwood Canyon. I think this hike is about 2.5 miles up to Lake Catherine. Probably a little bit more up to the pass. I'll make sure I put the actual mileage down below the video, along with the coordinates of the lakes and the trailhead. But it's a real nice morning. Kind of crisp and chilly up here though. I'm guessing upper 30s, low 40s. I can see my breath. This hike starts out at about, I think about 9,000 feet of elevation. And I'm not exactly sure what it is up at the pass, but most of this is going to be up above 10,000 feet. But it's a beautiful morning. Lots of colors changing. Sun's just starting to hit the peaks around here. Should be a real nice hike. So this trail begins at the parking lot for the Brighton Ski Resort. You'll pull up and you'll see there's a big sign that shows the ski area, and there's couple of lodges and the ticket office and a bar. And you walk up a little ways and there'll be a sign directing you to the trail. And this trail kind of meanders its way up the ski slopes here. And at some point it'll cut off to the right and we will start climbing up into the basin that Lake Mary sits in. I'm going to pan this around a little bit. The sun sure looks nice hitting these peaks. This is looking to the north, down canyon. So I started, it was about 7:30, 7:40. I wanted to get up here early because there's a storm system coming through northern Utah later on today. So I figured it'd be a good move to get up here and get hiking before the weather changes. So this trail junction is the one you're going to want to pay attention to. Want to go to the right, and this is where we'll start climbing up to Lake Mary. So Lake Mary is a really nice lake, but it is part of the Salt Lake City water storage network that they have up here in the canyons, because most of the water that we drink down the valley comes from up here in the Wasatch. With these areas being in the watershed that supplies drinking water to the Salt Lake Valley, there are no dogs allowed. So much to their disappointment, I had to leave Doug and Raven back at the house. So at this point, the trail has left the ski area and the ski slopes and started working its way up to Lake Mary. Now I believe these trails are also open to mountain bikers, so we might see a biker. This is looking down canyon at the Brighton Ski Resort and some of the private cabins and lodges in the area. There's another lake. It's kind of down there. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's called Silver Lake. Now, Silver Lake you can actually drive up to. There's a parking lot, and you can walk into it. It's a really nice place where you could bring the family. People fish there. It's really nice and scenic. It's one of these areas I've been going to ever since I was a little kid. We're at a trail junction right here. We're going to be going that way to Lake Mary, Lake Catherine, and up to the pass to look into the Albion Basin. But there is another lake right up here called Dog Lake. So we're going to do a quick little hike up to there, and I'll show you guys that. So this is another little trail junction. This one on the left goes up to Clayton Peak, which is, it's kind of behind the trees. I'll point it out once we get up a little higher and you can see Clayton Peak. And this is the trail to Dog Lake. This is the one we're going to take right now. Dog Lake tends to be a little bit more of a diversion for people. It's not necessarily the destination. So, you know, if you're looking for some solitude up here, this would probably be a good place to come and hang out. Well, we are heading back over to the trail junction. Hung out here by Dog Lake for a little bit. It's really nice and peaceful back in here. Very quiet, no breezes, nice reflections on the lake. It's finally warming up a bit. It was a little chilly this morning when I got up here. We're back at the junction, and now we're going to head over to Lake Mary. The streams up here pretty much flow year-round. Real nice little trickles. This one comes out of Dog Lake. There's another one over here that comes out of Lake Mary. Now with Lake Mary, I had mentioned earlier that it plays a role in the Salt Lake Valley's watershed and water supply. And back in, I think, the 30s, they built a dam up here. This was a natural lake, but they built a dam to enhance it. So as we walk up here, we're going to run into a big concrete dam. It's pretty old though. It's been here for a long time. Now we are at another junction. If we go this way, that takes you over to a place called Twin Lakes, which sits in another basin about 3/4 of a mile from here. It used to be 2 lakes, and they also built a dam over there to enhance the water storage capabilities. And that's also a nice hike, but we'll do that one another day. So we're going to go this way. There's a lot of nice stands of aspens up here. A lot of willows along the creek. And everything is just starting to change. It's September 20th, so autumn is just around the corner. Yeah, I'm guessing this is so they can monitor how much water is flowing out from Lake Mary. This big white thing you see up ahead is the dam. And we'll be there in a minute or two. Here's an up and close of the dam. Now, like I was saying earlier, this dam is old. So it's got cracks in it. A lot of concrete flaking off of it. And here's a drainage pipe coming out from under it. And here is Lake Mary. It looks like they have a good amount of water in it this year. The last time I was up here, which was in 2008, so it has been a full 14 years since I've been up Big Cottonwood Canyon and up to this lake. But the last time I was up here, it was pretty low. Like most areas here in the West, Salt Lake is also experiencing a lot of really hot, dry weather and not very much rainfall. So the lake level here fluctuates a fair amount. We'll walk over here and check out the dam. So here's a better view of the dam from up top. I'll just pan this around a little bit. Get a good lay of the land. Some nice aspen trees turning yellow over there. It's a really beautiful spot to come and spend some time in. My very first backpacking trip I did when I was probably 15. A friend of mine and I hiked up here and we did an overnight. We stayed over in that grove of aspen trees on the other side of the lake. And it was really nice. The next day we hiked up to the pass, which is where we're going to be going today. And then we hiked down into the Albion Basin and down Little Cottonwood Canyon Road, and his mom came and picked us up. But it was a great first experience with backpacking. It's a real nice area to come up to. Well, we're going to continue our hike up to the next lake. This here is kind of the trail junction. Now this area gets used a lot, so there are trails all over the place. Sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out exactly which one you need to take. So I got a little sidetracked, and the actual trail we want is down here. It runs along the lake. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been up here, and even longer since I've hiked up to the pass. We're getting back into the woods here, and this is definitely the right trail. So this is Lake Martha right ahead of us. I've actually never gone down to Lake Martha before. I always walk past it on my way up to Lake Catherine. But you know what? We're going to go down there today. And a really nice view of the lake. So we got some clouds moving in here. So I think we're going to head on up the trail and go see Lake Catherine. It's been kind of interesting because there are a lot of squirrels up here, and looks like they're getting ready for winter because some of these squirrels way up there in the trees, and they're tossing pine cones down. Got to be careful you don't get hit. I'll tell you this, if Doug was here, oh, he'd be so excited. Doug loves squirrels. This is a pretty big tree. So this tree is huge. This is the one that I was just hugging. Yeah, I guess that makes me a tree hugger. But that is a really nice tree. It's huge. But we're going to work our way back up to the main trail and head on up to Lake Catherine. So like I was saying, there's a lot of squirrels around here. And they are none too shy of people. That little guy ran right out in front of me here. Went over across the trail, grabbed pine cone, came running back. This is Mount Millicent we're looking at. It's Mount Tuscarora. So just up here is the next basin we're going to that holds Lake Catherine. Now this area looks pretty cool. Nice big white cliff. I swear I see a little patch of snow up there too. That's impressive. Yeah, you can see both Lake Martha and Lake Mary. That point over there is Scott Hill. And on the other side of that ridge is the Park City Ski Resort. There's a lot of skiing to be done around here. Get a lot of really good snow for it here in the wintertime, when it snows enough. So we're at another junction. This trail goes up to the pass, and we're going to come back and take that, and that is Catherine Pass right up there. This trail goes to Lake Catherine. So we're going to go over here first and check that out, and then we'll come back and hike up to the pass. Well, this sure is nice. I really like this lake. Again, this is the first time I've actually been down to this lake too. You know, I've hiked past these a few times, but I've never really stopped and come down here to Lake Catherine or Lake Martha. But it's turned out to be a really nice day. The clouds coming in have added some nice texture and dimension to the blue sky. Hopefully we get done and get a nice hike in before the weather changes, because it's supposed to this afternoon. Lots of rain, thunderstorms. Not the kind of weather you want to be out here, and in particular up high where we're going to be walking next. Yeah, there are a lot of really nice rocks and cliffs. All this nice white granite. There's a lot of that up here. Most of this is granite. So we're going that way, but we're going to check this trail out first. Yeah, nice view of Catherine Lake from above. So we got a little bit farther to go, and we'll be up at Catherine's Pass. And we'll be able to see all of this and more. It is really pretty up there. This is heading up to the pass. I don't think it switches back. It just cuts across this slope and angles up. Here's the view from behind us. Well, we are almost to the pass. This trail over here goes up to that saddle and then up to Sunset Peak. And this trail here goes right up here to the pass. So along this section here, this is part of the Great Western Trail that runs through, basically runs from the Canadian border all the way down to the Mexican border. We are going to continue this direction. And we're going to work our way up onto this ridgeline here. We're sure getting some nice views of Little Cottonwood Canyon. We're going to go up a little bit higher here. And we should be able to see down into the Alta Ski Resort pretty easily. So this is looking down Little Cottonwood Canyon and at the upper part of the Alta Ski Resort. Well, we are up at a pass, and this ahead of us is all looking down into the Alta Ski Resort and Little Cottonwood Canyon. This is the edge of the ski resort. This is looking down towards Heber Valley and Provo Canyon. One of these big peaks, there's two big peaks in the clouds. This one over here is Mount Timpanogos, and that one is Box Elder Peak. And over here you can see the top of one of the ski lifts from the Alta Ski Resort and a place called Devil's Castle right behind it. But we're going to go up to Sunset Peak, so we're going to take this trail along here. Well, this is still the Great Western Trail, and it looks like it gets used quite a bit in this section. There is Sunset Peak. Looks like there's a couple of people up on top. And there it is. We'll be up there in a few. Well, we're into some really nice views up here. You can see Lake Catherine, Lake Mary, the road going up to Guardsman's Pass, Scott Hill. Over here you can see Mount Tuscarora. An outstanding day. We're going to keep heading up here though. Show you a little of this side. You can still see the top of Alta Ski Resort, Devil's Castle. Beautiful area. Nice trail section. That goes down quite a ways right there. You can see Devil's Castle really good, and I can see the top of the tram over in Snowbird. But we are almost up there, a little bit farther to go. So we made it all the way up to the top, and there is just a spectacular view up here. You can see Lake Catherine, Lake Martha, and Lake Mary, and the Brighton Ski Resort, and the upper part of Big Cottonwood Canyon. We're going to be heading back down here. The trail there's a loop trail that takes you down this slope and meets up over there to take you back down to the lake. So we're going to do that next. Over here behind me, that's the Heber Valley. Over here is Little Cottonwood Canyon, the Alta Ski Resort, Devil's Castle. You can see the tram from Snowbird. And over there is Mount Timpanogos with its head in the clouds. But it has been a spectacular hike. It's getting pretty cloudy up here, temperature's cooling, and we're supposed to get some rain this afternoon, so I'm going to head back down to the lakes and onto the car. I'll put all the information on how to get here and how long of a hike it is in the section below the video. But you definitely should get out and try this hike. This is just absolutely spectacular up here. Maybe pick a day that's not quite so windy. But if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more videos about hiking out here on America's public lands, give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already, and we will see you next week.